Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dyke and Dan here, back with another Epic 7 video for you all. And it's time, guys. The collab is here. And you know how I've been saying how excited I am for this. So let's go ahead and get right into it and see what they got to say. First off, they did make a cool little animation video. I want to show you all real quick. So take a look at this real quick. Guilty Gear Exard. Oh man, whew. It's been a long time coming, and I'm definitely glad to have this collab here. All right, so first off, the collab is going to have just Soul and Biking right now. Dizzy isn't mentioned in the patch notes, so I'm guessing we're gonna get her at a later date. So sorry for the people who wanted Dizzy. I know y'all just gotta wait a little bit. I know y'all want her. Save them bookmarks if you don't want Biking. You know, if you only could get one. So, but yeah, let's go and get around to it. First off is Soul, and man, look at this, the full artwork. Look at him in all his glory. You see his animations here. This is actually one of his supers from Guilty Gear, so really cool. I was definitely interested in like what moves they were going to try to pick. So yeah. They decided to put one of his supers in for one of his moves, so that's cool. You got the Gun Flame, you got the Volcanic Viper, and he has the Tyrant Rave. The Tyrant Rave is the super he's doing. That's his S3. Then there's Biking right here. So it's very interesting how they did it. So for Soul, they picked 2 special moves and then a super. For Biking, they picked a combo. So I seen the animation for this in like the other video. Basically, they put a couple of her normals together and then did like a special move along with it. And then she has one of her supers, which is this one right here, the Moon Super. And then this is actually her instant kill. So when she everybody has an instant kill in Guilty Gear, and that's hers right there. And they use that for her S3. So that's very cool. I like that. Her skills look very good. Both of their skills look amazing. These characters look very good in motion. Man, it's just lovely to see them actually in motion finally. So let's go and read some of these skills real quick. Alright, so Soul, like everybody expected him to be a fire warrior, and indeed he is a fire warrior. It says Soul is a fire elemental warrior who dispels buffs and counterattacks when enemies use a non-attack skill. With his spell and debuff of Tyrant Rave Beta, he can make sure enemies cannot build for a short period of time. Additionally, the counterattack that is triggered by Volcanic Viper when an enemy uses non-attack skills can keep Soul Weavers from healing or buffing. That sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and get into like the skill descriptions. So Gun Flame attacks an enemy with a fire pillar. Damage dealt increases if the enemy isn't buffed. Gains Fighting Spirit when a critical hit is made. So for this skill 1, if you're like probably running like a stripper or like they don't have buffers on the team, Soul sounds pretty good. He has Fighting Spirit, very similar to like what Ken has, it seems like. Let's go and keep reading though. His passive. Now his passive seems really good. Now listen to this. Counterattacks and silence for 2 turns when the enemy uses a non-attack skill or when the caster is attacked by an elite or boss monster. Damage dealt increases proportional to the enemy's max health. Can only activate once every 2 turns. Roman cancel. So this is like a mechanic from Guilty Gear, basically like a one more chance, almost sort of like that. If Fighting Spirit is 100% at the end of an ally's turn, the caster consumes all Fighting Spirit before extending the duration of a buff and being granted an extra turn. That's crazy. So he consumes all of his Fighting Spirit. Let me read that one time. If the Fighting Spirit is 100% at the end of an ally's turn, the caster consumes all the Fighting Spirit before extending the durations of a buff. Right, yeah. So he's going to consume it all, and then he's going to extend the buffs, and then begin an extra turn. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now for his skills, for his skill 3, the After Awakening one, dispels an enemy all buffs within a strong punch, making them unable to buff for 2 turns. Damage dealt increase proportional to the enemy's max health. So it seems like he's going to be pretty good against certain Soul Weavers, and he may not counter certain metas, but because the passive isn't like, now the passive was like counteracting the initial hit, like, I mean, not the initial hit, but the initial like non-attack skill, then it'll be extremely good, maybe too good, because then that would stop like some of the speed meta with like the CR pushes. Like, imagine if he could like stop the CR push, like if you try to CR push, then he goes or something like that. But he may be good versus like, you know, certain Soul Weavers. Like he'd definitely destroy Destania, and some other characters that people use. I mean, any like, you know, non-attack skills that people are using, he will definitely be a person to shut it down. So, you know, you got people who are using non-attack skills to like buff characters, and that's pretty good. But because like some of the non-attack skills are buffs, then you wouldn't be getting the full damage from this unless you got like a stripper or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But overall, I like his kit. A lot of people seems pretty happy with his kit. Then the more controversial of the two is Biken. Some people aren't really liking it. But let's go and read it before I get into that. Alright, so Biken is a thief. She is a Earth thief. Now, when I made my initial video of like what I thought the character was going to be, I said she would be, I thought she was going to be Earth, but I didn't know she was going to be between a warrior or a assassin. I mean a tank or assassin. For some reason, I was like, they're not going to do like the same thing where, like, you know, they're going to put two warriors. I didn't think they would do that. So I was like, she would have to be a knight or an assassin. They went with assassin, so it makes sense. I mean, I can see her assassin. She is a samurai. So Biken is a thief of detonating bleed attacks inflicted on the enemies. She can deal great damage to the enemies while also increasing the combat readiness of allies by inflicting bleed with Tsurane Zansu Ratashi, and then using Gaio Tensei on the extra turn granted. The damage potential of Gaio Tensei with the detonation of bleeds effects makes it very important to maintain a large number of bleed effects on the enemies. So guys, with that, it sounds like she's very similar to like what Siren had. That's what a lot of people have been saying. But like I said, let's continue reading before we get into that discussion. The attacks and enemies repeated with 45%, maximum 70%, chance to inflict. Chance each to inflict two bleeds effects for 2 turns. A critical hit would reduce the caster skill's cooldown by 1 turn. And skill 2 attacks the enemies with expert sportsmanship with a 55%, maximum 80% chance of inflicting 3 beat effects for 2 turns. A critical hit will grant an extra turn. Delivers a deadly blow, detonating any bleeds effect inflicted on the enemy at the end of a turn. A critical hit decreased the combat readiness of all allies by 15%, maximum 25%. So she has a very long cooldown on her S3. However, what they're trying to seem like we're trying to do is play on her critical hit. So she's going to be like a lot of assassins. She's going to want 100% crit. But it's built into her kit that's a good thing, because she will get extra turns with granting an extra turn off this and increasing her skill cooldown. So this will probably have like a -1 cooldown on it. So with 6, you know, you could probably get it down to like probably like a 3 turn thing. You know, if you have 100% crit rate, considering that you'll be getting an extra turn every time automatically, and it's reducing as well because you're getting your turn back. So the 7 turn cooldown can't be that bad if you make the stats work with her. But yeah, like I said, she seems like to be a like better Siren almost. Just because she works on the bleeds, and she basically does the same thing with, like, you know, increasing more bleeds. Then she'll bleed again with 2 more bleeds, and then she detonates them. But there is a description about the detonate, and I want to talk about that in a little bit. But before that, of course, we have the new banners of the ML units and the Mystic summons as well. Ball and Cezanne and ML and Ren. We already went over these characters though. They both seem really good. I think I want to pull for Ren mostly, but just in case you haven't heard about the skills of Sin, we're going to go over them anyway. So skill 1 for him: summons an evil spirit with 50% chance to put an enemy to sleep for 1 turn. Skill 2 attacks all enemies by summoning storm clouds with an 85 maximum 100% chance to dispel 2 buffs and a 65% chance, maximum 80%, to put them to sleep. If this skill is available, increase the caster's combat readiness by 15%, maximum 25%, at the end of the enemy's turn. And then skill 3 attacks with an evil eye, recovering the caster to max health if the enemy is defeated. Damage dealt increases proportional to the amount of caster's lost health. Now I know some people with characters that have like sleep, some people argue, you know, sleep is better than like stun or whatnot. It all depends on like what your team calls for, like what the situation calls for. But this unit seems very good. The sleep could be very deadly. He has a 1-turn sleep here, and then what this one wasn't a 2-turn sleep. I think no, it's just a 1-turn, but it's 80% chance. And it spells 2 buffs, so he also can strip. That's pretty good. Yeah, but this unit seems pretty good. I think he's not bad. But I'm more so interested in Ren for sure. Based on this kit right here. So S1, attack the enemy with a Ren, granting a random buff to the caster for 1 turn. If you soul burn, you grant a random buff to all allies for 2 turns. So she still has that. You get another one. Attacks the enemies with a lavish dance, stealing 2 buffs and granting their effects to all allies. This is the catcher right here. Let me read that again for you guys. Attacks the enemy with a lavish dance, stealing 2 buffs and granting effects to all allies. Now I don't think there's a single character in the game at the moment that steals buffs. So what I really want to know is, what is the extension of the buffs that you steal? Like, how far can it go? Like, because we can't be able to steal every buff, right? Surely, like, how will you steal idle buff? But like think about it, stealing immortality from Kayron, if there's a Kayron on the team, like, can you imagine that? Like, this character, if played correctly, with the exception of how it may work, I think she could be very good. I don't know. I think she's honestly look better than Ballin Sezon, to be honest. I definitely like her tool set. Let's read her S3 real quick. Crosses rings to attack the enemy, dispelling all of the target's buffs before granting immunity to all allies for 2 turns. Caster is granted an extra turn if the target's buffs have been dispelled. So right here, she dispels all of the target's buffs. So not only does she steal 2 buffs here, she dispels buffs here. So she has like a double strip almost. And then when she does that, she also grants immunity. So, and she's ridiculously fast. So she basically can be the immunity person for your team if you're running immunity. And you're trying to run, you know, something a little bit more than Angelica, than just a healer, and you want like something else with it, then this could be it for you. Because she definitely has the immunity that she has as well. Oh, sorry for that sound, guys. Notification went through. But yeah, so those are the MLs coming. Like I said, we've been over them already, but I know some people probably haven't read their skills yet or something like that. So I just went over it again real quick. Now we are having the artifact, and the artifact has Soul on it. My boy, Soul Bad Guy, the Junkyard Dog. And this artifact gives a 50% chance to burn an enemy for 2 turns after using a basic skill. Now, Soul is using burns, so this artifact could be pretty good for him. It actually probably could work for like Ken too. It definitely seemed like it's situational though. So I don't know how good the artifact will be in the long run, but 50% chance, I don't know. I mean, you could chance it. I wonder if it's a 50% chance to affect the burns. Is it and it's on the basic skill, does it still have to go through the effect resist as well? Or if it hits the 50%, does it like proc automatically? And it like, if it goes through the effect resist, then I think it may be okay. But if you have to like, you know, get the 50% chance and then have to worry about the effect resist, then I think this artifact isn't all that. Now, Biken has an artifact too. At max, 100% chance to inflict 2 bleeds for 2 turns after a single attack. Now this is a lot better. One, because it's 100%. So same case scenario here. You know, if you have to worry about the effect resist, then that could be a little bit problematic. But because it's 100%, I already like this one better than this one. But I mean, burn is very strong. Burn is like one of the best debuffs in the game. You know, better than like poison and bleed when it comes to damage and PvP. Burn is probably like the best at the moment. So having that not at 100% is probably a good thing. With that in mind. And of course, yes, so the free unit is going to be Soul, and Viking is going to be the unit that you're going to be rolling for in the limited banner. So hope you guys got your rolls ready. It's the same thing as usual, you know. Have 120 summons, and your 121 summon will be the unit if you didn't get it within that period of rolling. And then, you know, the new story that we're going to have, a visit from another world. So it's the collaboration, of course, between Epic 7 and Guilty Gear. Pretty cool things about the story. So it's actually episodic, like they said before. The first story we're going to be getting in week 1 right here is Soul Story. Then we're going to have Viking Story, Dizzy Story, and then look like some type of like conclusion, final story here. So it says the side story visitors from another world has 4 chapters, and each week 1 chapter will be opened. In order to proceed to the next chapter, this player will need to complete the preceding chapter. You can enter or move to another chapter using the zoom button or the world map. So yeah, it's a 4-week long event, and we're going to be starting with Soul Story. It seems very similar to like what it is in like the other stories. You know, you have your world map, and you have like your stage that you can like farm for your repetition rewards and the other goodies that they have inside the shop. The event shop. Here's all right here, and we're actually getting a gold transmit. Before, usually this is like some silver transmits, but they're actually giving a gold transmit for it. I don't know if this is a special thing or they actually heard the cries of certain people who've been asking for this just to be changed to a gold transmit. So I hope this stays, because I think that's very good to get an extra gold transmit through this. I mean, you know, you do a lot of work for this just to get like a few extra silvers. It's like but a gold, I definitely feel like that's worth it. I mean, you should be doing it anyway, but I just feel like the reward is much better. I mean, you know, I like that reward. It's good. So of course, you know, you have the usual stuff. You know, where's it at? Yeah, your units right here that get the enhanced heroes. They're doing the enhanced artifact thing again, like was in the Valentine event. So if you have the artifacts and you max them out, the more you max them out, the more rewards you would get for using them. And there's the Viking one, of course, and the Soul one. I don't know if they stack, though. If they stack, that would be really good. But, I mean, you know, it takes a while to get them all the way to max. So do as much as you can and try to use it throughout the event to try to, you know, maximize your rewards per run to make it a little easier on yourselves. And other units right here. Health increase for Crow, Assyria, Yuna, Ludwig, Clary, and Cartridge. These are the currencies that we're going to be using. There is a tournament. I do have a picture for that. I'll show y'all in just a second. And the hairbrush is actually, I don't know what that one's for. I see the disc. And this one is probably going to you get from the tournament. I have no idea where you get this one from. Players will only be able to attain Shadow Record fragments from the first week chapter. Okay. Oh, so these may be the ones you get per week. Maybe the final story has a different one. I'm not sure. Okay. But the event currency, so this is how you're going to get your soul, guys. This is how you're going to get the soul, the hero and the artifact. So you get one for here, and then of course your other stuff. And then you'll get another soul right here. So there's another one. This is where you get this from the ribbon. And then there's one. There's another one down here somewhere. Yeah, it's in the repetitions. So you get another one in the repetition. So I think they're doing it like the basically, because he's a free unit and it's a free artifact, you're still going to be able to triple S it, because you know it's a limited banner. I mean, it's not a banner. So you gotta have some way to, like, you know, get the triple S's if you were like going for it. So all of it's free. You just have to really grind and get it. But you can. It look like you are gonna be able to triple S. And be able to max out the artifact through the event currencies and the repetition. And yeah, the shop for the Powder of Knowledge is about to change. You're going to have Uber's Tooth, Scepter, Iron Fan, Noble Oath, Ancient Bookmark, Dust Devil, Tome, and Sash. So these are your next artifacts. I won't be pulling for any of them. I have Tooth. That's probably the only one I really would want. I actually had Fan. I actually sold Fan to get Scythe last go around. So yeah, I won't be pulling for this. I'll be waiting for the next one to try to see if there's anything I want. But yeah, these are the new ones that we're going to be having for a while. And I think that's it over here. Yeah, there's some improvements, some bug fixes and stuff. Oh yeah, the new battle effect, of course. Yeah, I almost forgot. So the new battle effect is Detonate, has been added, right? Detonate inflicts damage by activating any dot effect inflicted on an enemy. Damage is proportional to the number of turns that the debuff have on the opponent. The skill description for the boss monster death trap who appears. Oh, that's a completely different thing. So yeah, Detonate. Seems like it's, like I said, it's a new battle effect. The only thing that is a little weird is the name of the skill. It's called Detonate, and Siren has a skill that's also a detonation. So a lot of people is confused about what's happening with that, and even I am, because I'm not sure completely. With the description that we have here, is that going to apply to Siren, like as well, or is it just going to be something that's just unique to, I believe it's Biken that has it. Was it Biken? I think it was Biken. Let me check real quick. Yeah, detonation right here. So detonating any bleed effects. Siren also detonates the bleed effects. So if it applies to both of them, that's like a secret nerf to Siren, which is also good. Since she's like, you know, a Siren type character as well. But yeah, that's the detonation. But there's also some more, guys. So there's a check-in special event. So every day you log in, you know, you'll get your rewards. They did this a few times already, so it's nothing new. But you know, just an extra bonus for the collaboration that's going on. So don't miss out on these rewards, guys. Make sure you log in at least every day, so you can get all the way to, you know, your extra Mulligoler and your 30 bookmarks, so you can continue to roll for these limited banner characters. You don't want to miss them. And we actually do got some of the stats for the characters, guys. So let's actually get into this as well. So of course, Fire Warrior, and he is a Sagittarius. And he has the devotion of defense. He actually has a pretty good speed on him at 119. His health seems a little low. 5,542. I don't know if that's low. That may be like average. But compared to Biken's, it's pretty low. 553 defense. 1,177 attack. 27% crit chance, 5% dual chance as usual, and then it's just going over his skills again and his relations. So he has a grudge against Eno, and he trusts Biken, Dizzy, and Yuna. So I'm guessing Yuna going to have a big part in the story, considering that Soul has a relationship, trust with her, and yeah, his specialties. Now for Biken's, like I said, so Soul has health of 5,542. Remember, she's a thief, and her base health is 6,266. She has like above average speed as well. Very surprised that Soul actually has more speed than her. But it can happen. But yeah, so she has a little bit less crit chance than him. He has 27 and she has 23%. She has 473 defense. Of course, she's an assassin, so her defense isn't going to be too high. And of course, you know, the basic stuff over here, usually the same, along with the crit damage. And she is a Earth Thief Scorpio with a attack devotion that works on everybody. Soul's devotion actually only work in the front and on the up part here. So keep that in mind if you are running him for his devotion. And you know, is a grudge unit also for biking. Very interesting. Trust Dizzy, Trust Soul, and Ludwig is actually on her. So there's going to be some interaction between Biking and Ludwig. So that'll be interesting. And then of course her specialty as well. So yeah guys, the last thing I wanted to show y'all is the tournament. Now it wasn't in the patch notes. I saw it on, like, I believe Facebook. So I just took it from there. But this is what it's supposed to look like. Now it's really cool because, you know, Guilty Gear is a fighting game, and so they tried to do like a little homage to that with a tournament type of fighting this thing. So I think that's really cool. You got some units fighting over here, and you got some over here, and it looked like the last one standing got to fight Soul. Now I don't know if Soul's the last person you actually fight in this. I don't know if this is like just a pre-render to show how it would look. Maybe Soul is not the last one, but from this picture we can guess Soul is the last person you fight. It looks like this is actually the how you get Soul's last unit to, you know, get the triple S, and of course you get a Terror from that as well. But yeah, I just think it's really cool. But yeah guys, that's all I got for you with this one. If you liked anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And you want to hear more from me, subscribe to the YouTube page. Follow my social medias as well, the Facebook, the Twitter, and of course the Twitch. But yeah guys, as always, my name is Dyke and Dan, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.